Please. Please. Bring Michael home, please. Please.
Hey guys, welcome back to True Crime with Shannon, where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. So today I've been really tired, and like I said in my last video for a little Athena Strand, I ran a half marathon on Saturday, and I'm one of those folks that just takes a little longer to recover. I have fibromyalgia and some thyroid issues, but today is, Monkey Monday, and I thought about how that's so comparable how I'm feeling with exhaustion. That's how it's been day after day for Brandy, Neil, and Tyler, and the entire family, especially Brandy. This is like she's been running a marathon that just never ends. And it's exhausting for us to do something maybe for a day or two, but this poor mother has been for over a year, 400, well, almost 500 days at this point. She has been looking for her little boy, who we now know to have been abducted, and probably horribly and sadly, that I hate to say it, but he's probably no longer with us. And at this point, they need closure. But day to day, this is such a exhausting thing for Brandy. She spent majority of the last over a year. She had to work, she had to take care of her other children, and she went out and posters after posters after posters and all these things to help bring Michael home. So for me to be exhausted, I thought, you know what? That's just nothing compared to what Brandy's dealing with, or any of these mothers and fathers and these families that are dealing with a child that is missing. And it's got to be, extremely. It's a point when exhaustion just, I don't know. I mean, it's got to go beyond exhaustion, whatever that may be. So I'm here to do what I promised I'm going to do until Monkey comes home, is Monkey Mondays. And I don't know why I cannot get that out of my mouth without having issues. But there's not a lot of new news, sadly, on little Michael Vaughn since we had the press conference last Thursday. They're still looking for these two men. I'm not going to even call them gentlemen because they're not gentlemen. Okay. And I said, there's not a lot of news out there. So I wanted to continue to share about about little Michael. And I also wanted to share, when they first arrested, Sarah, because we need to continue to keep Michael's face out there, because this little boy needs to come home. His family needs to bring him home. And that's the goal right now, is to find him. And there's two keys right now to this puzzle. And those two keys are out there, and police need these people arrested and caught. They're caught and arrested. So here is a piece from NBC, I believe it is. This was in November when Sarah was first arrested. So this is Chief Huff, and at the beginning here, and I wanted to play this piece right here.
A grieving community, reeling from the disappearance of the 5-year-old Michael Vaughn last July, now potentially one step closer to finding closure.
We are all very emotionally tied to this case, just as our community is. I would say probably the country.
Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff spoke with us Sunday afternoon about a credible tip he says led authorities and rescue crews to dig up the backyard of a house in connection with Michael's death. Huff said on Monday that credible tip came from someone inside of the house.
We received a search warrant, and we started excavating the backyard of this residence due to the fact that there's potential for Michael's remains to be in this backyard.
Here's a map of the area. The house is just 4 minutes from the Vaughn family home. Police arrested 35-year-old Sarah Wandra over the weekend, who lived in the house being searched. She's charged with failure to report a death. Wandra appeared via Zoom for an arraignment Monday afternoon in Payette County.
It is alleged that you did on or about the 12th day of November of this year, here in the state of Idaho, fail to notify the coroner of a death, the death of Michael Vaughn, with the intent to prevent the discovery of the manner of death. That is a felony here in the state of Idaho. Do you understand the allegation that's been made against you?
I understand what they've said is not correct.
A prosecutor said Wandra is already on pretrial release, charged with unlawful possession of a firearm in Idaho. Court records show she was convicted of felony attempted robbery in Oregon in 2013.
I think it shows that she's a danger to the community.
A Payette County judge set Wandra's bond at $500,000. KTVB obtained the criminal complaint in the case, but the judge decided to seal the probable cause affidavit and other records. The judge, prosecution, and defense agreed. They do not want to jeopardize such a high-profile case. Chief Huff says they've fielded more than 1,500 leads. Police have not said whether they've found Michael or his remains yet. The chief told us they plan on excavating the entire backyard and digging 3 to 4 feet down.
This is arduous work. It's going to take us a while to get this done, but we're not going to stop.
Okay, so that was actually KTVB, which we know has done excellent coverage in the search for Michael Vaughn. Again, this was before last week's press conference, and we know that the dogs, more than one dog, did indicate that there were remains in that backyard, but Michael has not been found. And I know Friday they were supposed to be searching the neighbor's yard, and I've been trying to find information on that, and I'm not really seeing much on that at this point. But I want to go over these 2 men that they still have not gotten into custody, that we need to get into custody. And police are not asking any person to try to take them into custody, but we need to keep these faces, we need to keep them in our minds, because these 2 men need to be caught and they need to be arrested so that Fruitland Police can speak to them about the case. So let me pull up that article. So this is actually out of, this looks like it's a news radio station, 95.7 out of Idaho. It's a country station that is covering, and again, any coverage to get the answers that they need. It's amazing. So these 2 people right here, these 2 faces right here, they are still out there and free, and they should not be free. This is Brandon, and that's Adrian on the right. These men need to be caught. They are persons of interest in the case of Michael Vaughn. So let me go through their article here. They actually just published this today, Monday. Michael Vaughn is a Fruitland boy that has been missing since July 27th, 2021. Until recently, there has not been a lot of information surrounding his disappearance. An arrest has been made, and now authorities ask that you be on the lookout for 2 men who may have more information and are connected. According to recent reports, 2 men who may have more information about what happened to Michael are being searched for. One man, Adrian Lucene, is known to be around Toledo, Ohio, or in California. The second man, Brandon Shurtleff, lived in Kahuna, but may be in North Dakota. And remember, I mentioned last week that Brandon was on the scene when Sarah was arrested, and another YouTuber actually interviewed him, and I'm seeing that get a little bit of press, which disappoints me. But he obviously took off because he knows that he knows more. and the law enforcement need to speak with him. But if you are in the area of North Dakota or in Toledo, Ohio, or in California, please keep a lookout for these men. Very, very, very important. The reason that these two appear to be suspects is they were staying with Stacy and Sarah Wondra during the time of Michael's disappearance. Stacy and Sarah are currently in custody. So far, there are no charges of unaliving, but rather a failure to report a death. Devastatingly, authorities believe that Michael Vaughn is no longer alive. His remains have not been found yet. These two men might help bring closure to the family and give some answers. If you come across either of these men, do not approach them. Call police immediately. Also share their photo everywhere. The more eyes that see their faces, the better chance they will be found. Again, we need to keep their faces out there. As much as we despise who they are at this point, we really need to remember these faces, especially if you're in those areas they may be. These two faces, and I'm going to repost it again on my community tab as well as on Twitter. I'm going to start sharing it more often, both of them. It's been it'd be a week on Thursday that this information came out. These guys need to be taken into custody. Police need to speak with them. And at this point, all hands are on deck to get them into police custody. But just don't approach them yourself. Don't do anything crazy. If you see them, just call 911. Very, very, very important that we continue to share their faces, as well as Michael's face. Michael is the innocent one, and these two, quite the opposite. That's for sure. So this is the one article I've been able to find regarding the search of the neighbor's yard. Unfortunately, when I pull it up here, it's really dark. So I'm gonna include the link to the actual article here, but I'm actually gonna read it off here and read it to you guys here. I'm gonna move this up so we can just see Michael's beautiful face as I read the article. Boise, Idaho. The search for Michael Vaughn's remains continues today after police came up empty at the home of two suspects in the case. Now, this article is dated December 2nd at 5:31 p.m., so that would have been Friday evening, excuse me. Detectives today performed a consensual excavation of a neighbor's backyard in hopes of finding Vaughn's remains, which detectives say were moved to another location after being buried in Sarah and Stacy Wondra's backyard. They say there is mounting evidence that there were human remains in this location at one point. Mountain States detection dogs deployed 2 certified human remains detection dogs on the property, said Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff, all of them alerting to the presence of human remains. They also say ground radar has pointed to numerous anomalies within the dirt in the backyard. So sadly, we know again that he was there. The remains were there in that backyard, but as of this point, there's no remains there. So what happened after that point is anyone's best guess at this point. So again, we need to make sure that Brandon and Adrian are brought to justice and the detectives can speak with those 2 men because they're vital. Obviously, Stacy is still in jail. I don't know if they've spoken to Stacy. They didn't really indicate that at the press conference last week. And Sarah, remember, she was committed because she was not found mentally competent. So we're going to find out, I believe it's the 23rd, if she is released and she becomes mentally competent. Because again, Idaho does not have an insanity defense. So if she's not, she'll get put back into, the mental ward, I guess, and continue treatment until she's found competent to stand trial, to, stand for these charges. So at this point, there's more questions than answers, and we need to find those answers because Michael deserves justice. He deserves every single bit of it. This little boy, And like Chief Huff said, he's become more than just, a little boy, someone's little boy down the street. He has become, a part of a lot of people's, lives, in a lot of ways. You don't know these little guys, but let me tell you what, his face, seeing that face for almost a year, it's heartbreaking, to know that he may no longer be with us. It truly is. And my heart breaks for Brandy and Tyler and the rest of the family because of that. And all we can hope for right now is justice. And that's what we need to do. We need to get this justice for little Michael Monkey Vaughn. He deserves justice.
We begin the news at 10 with a community grieving, still without answers to so many questions. 5-year-old Michael, affectionately known as Monkey Vaughn, went missing from his Fruitland neighborhood in July of 2021. The police chief told us today that crews finished digging up the backyard of a house where they believed Michael's remains were buried. That house, just 4 minutes from the Vaughn's home. Our Abby Davis was at a candlelight prayer circle tonight for Michael and his family. And Abby, the community really banding together and continuing to show their support as they have been for more than a year now.
Well, Morgan, about 100 people actually showed up to the candlelight vigil, and everyone I spoke with really just wanted to show the Vaughn family how loved they are.
Coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home.
Michael's coming home. We haven't given up hope, and we won't give up hope.
Hope and prayer for Michael Vaughn, who was just 5 years old when he went missing from his Fruitland neighborhood in July of 2021.
We needed to do something just for the community to come together and show support for this family and for Michael, so we decided to do a candlelight prayer circle.
Michael's mom, Brandy Neal, says she's overwhelmed with love.
The love and the support and the kindness that everybody has continuously shown Michael and our entire family this entire time, and to come out in the freezing cold and just show how strong we are as a community together. It's amazing.
Michael's become everybody's son, grandson, brother.
Brooke Curtis, who organized the prayer circle, says she wants to show the world we're better together than apart.
I think with prayer, just allowing everybody to open up about their wishes and support for this family and this community, I think that really, putting that in a verbal sense really brings the community closer together.
I came out here tonight because this really just, hit home for me. I've been watching it unfold for a year and a half now. I think it's important for the community to kind of wrap their arms around this family and show them that they're loved and they're cared about.
We love you all, and thank you. Thank you so very much. Everyone that has been helping us with hot meals and just kind words and prayers and hugs for our entire family, all the way around, and our extended family across the country. Thank you. Thank you for your kindness and support.
Affectionately known as Monkey, Neal says Michael lived up to the nickname.
He's sweet and kind and loving, and he would probably been running up hugging every single person that was here right now if he could have been here. We're gonna find him. I pinky promised.
This face, this is what it's all about. Justice for Michael Vaughn. So I will continue to be a part of Michael's army and to help bring Mike Monkey home. I will continue to share his beautiful, beautiful face, support this family in any way I can, and also share those awful people that may have had something to do with his disappearance, because that is the way that we're going to find justice for Michael and bring Michael home. So I ask that you guys please share photos, continue to share photos of Michael, and also share photos of those two men. Again, that's very, very important that they get taken into custody. We need answers, and they have some. I want to thank you guys for checking out the video, for being here for Monkey Monday, and hopefully we'll have some better answers soon. I don't know what that's going to be, but I continue to pray daily and think about Brandy and Tyler and the family and bringing Monkey home. Thank you guys again for checking out the video, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and most of all, stay safe.